Hi everyone, my name's Lisa for those of you that might be tuning in for the first time. So I was moved to read out of this language of letting go today. I was kind of like going through my own little struggles this morning, and so I was like meditating and trying to get my clear thoughts. Yeah, listen, the turbulence that you're feeling right now, because I do pick it up. It's not just me, you know. I do feel, I believe that we are all one, right? We're all connected, like, and so if I'm feeling it, there are others feeling it too. Okay, it may be on a different scale, but all of us, like, everybody's going through this like purging and releasing, and it's deep stuff. It's rough stuff. It's changing huge cycles in our lives, right? It's starting fresh. It's starting new, and wherever you're at the beginning of, it's like, you know, it's uncomfortable being a beginner in whatever it is, you know, especially if like you've risen and conquered other things in your life, and then to like start over again, like that's a little intimidating, right? So we are not alone, okay? And you know, I am a firm believer that any obstacles or challenges that God throws into our lives, he gives them to us so that we can dive deep and learn how to overcome them. And as we learn how to overcome them, we put the hand forwards to help other people get out of that same situation. Or if we don't help them directly, it's like to be the light, to show that it is possible to start again, to emerge from whatever, you know, bubble, or like I just feel like somebody feels trapped. Okay, that's the energy I'm feeling. It's just like they feel like they're stuck, like they don't know what to do. Okay, or it's like there's something holding them back. They're not doing what they want to do, and it's not because they don't want to do it. They're doing it because of they're worried about how it's going to be received by who's ever, like, I feel whoever else is going to be a witness to what they're doing, or however, I don't know. I think you understand what I mean. And then when I read this book, it falls right in line with that. Okay, so it says, what if? I was talking to a friend one day about something I plan to do. Actually, I was worrying about how one particular person might react to what I intended to do. What if he doesn't handle it very well? I asked. Then my friend replied, you're going to have to handle it. You're going to have to handle it well. What ifs can make us crazy. And that's that stuck energy that I'm feeling. It's like somebody's playing out worst case scenario only, right? Okay, so it's what ifs are also a clue. It says what ifs can make us crazy. They put control over our life in someone else's hands. What ifs are a sign that we have reverted to thinking that people have to react in a particular way for us to continue our course. Okay, that's a big sentence. I'm going to read it again. It says, what ifs can make us crazy. They put control over our life in someone else's hands. What ifs are a sign that we have reverted to thinking that people have to react in a particular way for us to continue our course. What ifs are also a clue that we may be wondering whether we can trust ourselves and our higher power to do what's best for us. These are shreds of codependent ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving, and they signal fear. The reactions, feelings, likes, or dislikes of others don't have to control our behaviors, feelings, and direction. We don't need to control how others react to our choices. We can trust ourselves, with help from a higher power, to handle any outcome, even the most uncomfortable. And, my friend, we can trust ourselves to handle it well. Today, I will not worry about other people's reactions or events outside my control. Instead, I will focus on my reactions. I will handle my life well today and trust that tomorrow I can do the same. Okay, so that is some really freaking uncomfortable shit. Okay, but this is what's on the other side of it. This milk and honey, right? But yeah, blessed. We're moving to this blessed era. Okay, it's like this next chapter. Yeah, see, and that they just showed me it's a 22, and this is a loyal heart. It's about being loyal and true to self. Okay, which isn't always an easy choice, and you would think that it would be, but you know, okay, and here's where I have to just speak on me, because all I have is my own my own experience to share with you, right? This is my truth, right? So it's like, you would think that choosing myself would be easy, right? Because it's me, right? It's like, I want to do what's best for me, like always. But it's like, it took me years and years and years and fucking years. I mean, I'm 52 now, and I feel like, at times I can still struggle with this, I've only just begun to really feel comfortable with the fact that, yeah, you know what, it hurts me that it hurts you that my behavior is changing, but I love me more. I started hearing that song, I love me more. I don't even, I just remember it was an old song, but anyway, but that's true. And look, this is serendipitous. Look, regeneration, everything that's happening, it's like, whoever we were, whatever we've experienced, everything is being burnt down to the ground, including our own belief system, right? And it's serendipitous. It's meant to happen. There are things, or there are, it's like, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're doing, however you're responding, whatever's happening right now, it's happening to push this change, to regenerate life back into you. Okay, look, it's so that your truth can be told. Look, see, exchanging gifts, and look, here's this observer. Been picking up on this whole vibe for a while of, there's people watching. Okay, and maybe some of you are leaders, you do have, maybe have channels like this, but I feel like you have like a big following, right? And so it's like, are your feet matching your words, and this is the importance of this, because it's like, people are watching you, and it's like, I feel like there's some sort of recognition of like, whatever you're speaking about, you have to be about, and maybe being about it, is challenging something within you, right? So I know like how this is, and look, see, it's between worlds. Everything isn't completely crossed over yet, but see, it's no place like home. It's like no place like home. It's like this home is growing out of their heart. This is like creating the life that you want from your own heart space, from your own belief system, right? From your own experiences in your own life. For example, my healing process, it's not been comfortable. Okay, I have stepped away from a lot of my family, and I have really, that has been very tough, because it's my family. And, I grew up believing that, there's like, I was raised Catholic. There's these whole 10 commandments, honor your mother and father. Okay, well, what if your mother and father, like, aren't that great, And there's lots of people out there that, like, their parents aren't that great, And for some people, it's safer to be away from your family, or even friends that have been your friends for like 20 something years or 30 years or whatever. It doesn't matter who it is, anything that throws my life out of whack when I know that it doesn't need to be, it's like, that shit's got to go. And, I'm not saying like my parents sucked or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, there are relationships that I've learned to set extreme boundaries with, because I had to, because my own peace of mind depends upon it, right? But in doing so, and even being vocal about it, which God wants me to, okay? And it's because, like me, there are others out there trapped in the fear of this change because of what it means. Like, some people are married, some people, they feel obligated to a parent, to a grandparent, to a brother, to a sister, to a wife, to a husband. Okay. When it's like, all along, it's like there's this recognition of this self-sacrifice and not wanting to do it anymore. And guilt does not have to be involved in that. But I know that I had to push through that, my own guilt. Okay, first came this like guilt of like even talking about it to somebody else, right? But meanwhile, here I was like trapped in my own fucking prison of my mind and self-doubt and just like hating myself, but allowing for this just like disgusting behavior to take place, you know, and this has happened with family members, with friends, with lovers, right? And so I'm a firm believer that part of the reason why I have gotten so rooted in my belief system and my trust and faith in God is because I've taken responsibility for the allowance of this behavior of others in my life, right? Because for a long time I didn't stand up for myself, you know, I just took it. I played that role of victim, you know, I took the abuse. Okay, I'm crazy, I must be crazy, everybody else is saying I'm crazy, but I knew I wasn't crazy, you know. I knew that I was doing what was right for me, and just because what was right for me didn't fit their story of who I was, I shrunk, you know, I kept it silent. I didn't talk about the things that I was doing because nobody wanted to see that I was doing those things, you know, the people around me. And, you know, it goes deep, you know, it went deep, and I had to continue to push myself forward and continue to take responsibility for why people looked at me the way I did. I embraced their projections. You know, I had low self-worth. Obviously I was, if they're saying I'm crazy, obviously I am crazy. And it wasn't until I started implementing different behaviors in my life. I started doing things to take care of myself. I started, you know, asking God to direct my day. You know, part of a big chunk of helping my mind was and is to give back, which is part of the reason why I have the channel that I have and why I share. You know, maybe in the beginning, you know, I feel like I wouldn't be human if I didn't think about, oh, like maybe one day my channel's going to take off and I'll be like, you know, everybody will know my name and, you know, I'll make lots of money. But it's like, as the years have gone on and that hasn't happened, you know, and I continue to show up for my channel because, like, I really believe this, you know, I really believe that I was given the life I've been given and overcome so many adversities within my life and within my own mind to be able to share it with others. You know, I know exactly what it's like to feel like you can't do anything, or feel like you don't have the moves, or you don't have the money, or just so many things, having so many things piled against you, you know, and to embrace the fact that you have to unravel this shit ball that's like wrapped around your peace of mind, you know, before you can even tap into your peace of mind. You know, I come from complete chaos. I come from a place where people kick you when you're down. You know, I am an alcoholic, drug addict. I'm coming up on 23 years sober, you know, but, you know, someone who's lived my life, you know, having come from, you know, rape and gang rape and just all this fucking trauma, right? And plenty of narcissistic relationships where they've left me feeling completely unvalidated in my feelings and emotions, and learning how to overcome these things, you know, and continuing to pursue healing in my life to this day, right? It's like, first I had to embrace the fact that this was not going to happen overnight. And I had to be willing, right? I just had to be willing every day. And at first, you know, I did not believe that I was capable of doing any of these things. You know, I have always been told I was crazy. I've always had been a drug addict and an alcoholic, and I had completely embraced and accepted that I was going to die an alcoholic, drug addict. So to be sober still to this day is absolutely fucking mind-blowing to me, right? But there did come a day where I had my first spiritual awakening, burning bush moment with God, and he showed me who I really was, because up until this point, I just really thought that I was just this nice girl who drank too much. I did a little bit too much cocaine. I popped a few extra pills, you know, and it's like 40 a day. That's where I ended. Okay. And, but he showed me who I was, and I was not a nice person. And even though I dressed up really nice and cleaned up really nice, and I went to private Catholic school and did church and, you know, all this bullshit that doesn't mean anything. Okay. It doesn't mean anything, because you can still show up in church and freaking gossip about people, like even your own family. It's disgusting. And let me tell you, I'm here to tell you that gossip kills. So watch what you're saying. Like, just watch what you're saying. I know that I myself have been the victim of gossip, and I'll be the first one to tell you that I was not living right. I had every reason to be talked about. You know, I've done everything. Most of my lessons have happened wide out in the open for everybody to see, and I've had to overcome that. You know, to still realize that no matter what I've been through, no matter what mistakes I've made, I'm still worthy of a good, happy life. And so, you know, that day that I made the commitment to myself, that I saw who I was, and I got up, you know, from my knees, because I had like a moment, you know, where I thought I was just done with life, you know, and my life was over. And you know, I found out I was pregnant, and I was about 3 months into not drinking, and I was living in a halfway house, and I didn't have a dime to my name, and I was just like, there's no fucking way I can have another abortion. And there's like, this is the worst possible time in my life to have a baby. And I was just like, how could you do this to me, God? You know? And I feel like I talked about this already, but anyway, it's been coming up a lot. Because maybe there's a lot of people out there that just like at the beginning of the road. Yeah, because there's like one chapter is ending and there's a whole new beginning. And that beginning, even though it's a good beginning, it's still scary because it's new, you know. But there was this acceptance of just like, I had this acceptance and this willingness to just like, I didn't care anymore. I didn't care who thought I was fucking nuts, because I was talking to God, and I believed that God was going to carry me through, and I was going to be okay as a single mom, and I was going to stay sober. and I just did it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, and when I had to, because trust me, 1 minute at a time counts, and sometimes that 1 minute is a huge fucking minute, right? So I just took one step forward, and I just kept, some days I remember just feeling like I was lifting, you know, one leg up and then lifting up the next leg, because I was done. I was just like, I had that, I only had that mustard sized seed of faith, but I found out, my life has proven to me over and over again, that's all you need. So embrace where you are. Age doesn't mean anything. Your time is not running out. You're exactly where you need to be. And I know it's like so hard to hear that, because that shit used to just make me want to fucking spit, right? And whoever's face was saying it to me. But you're going to be okay. And you're not running out of time. And give yourself a break. You know, I had a lot of wounding to unravel. You know, I had to be willing to face the shit I did, right? To take ownership of it. And I just accepted that I was wrong, or I needed to do things different, whatever it was, because each situation called for something different. And I just saw 20:02 on the clock, so I'm going to wind this up. But anyway, all you need is willingness to keep showing up. And you don't have to be happy about it. I freaking hated everybody for a really long time. And I know that in the beginning of my change of, staying sober and beginning to heal, I just had to have this acceptance that it wasn't going to be overnight, and I just had to stay willing, and I could decide. I could decide what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. And that's how it helped. Knowing that helped me feel like I was in control over my life, like I wasn't really being told what to do. Rather, I was making decisions for myself. And I had really good guidance for a really long time, especially in the beginning, of a woman who wasn't trying to control me. She instead taught me through her own experience how to trust myself and how to develop my own relationship with God. Because a lot of times when we're talking, like, when just my own observation and seeing like people referred to as leaders or looked up to, it's like they're telling you like what to do. And you can't really do that, because I've never really liked anybody telling me what to do, usually if somebody tells me what to do, I'm going to do the opposite just because they're telling me what to do. And I'm very grateful for that woman in my life who showed me that a true, I want to call her a hero, a true leader shows others how to be a hero and a true leader too. And so if something doesn't feel right to you, don't fucking do it. There's a saying, something I live by, is if one person tells you something, you can fucking blow it off, right? If more than one person tells you something, okay, maybe you should take a look at it. I'm just saying, take a look at it. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying you got to do anything about it. I'm just saying that's something I live by. If one person tells me something, I can blow it off, right? But if more than one person starts telling me that, I don't know. I gotta. It's like my duty. I feel like a sense of responsibility to, like, okay, well, let me try and see this from all different perspectives. So keep moving forward. Whatever it is that you want to do, that maybe you're worried about. It says, today I will not worry about other people's reactions or events outside of my control. Instead, I will focus on my reactions. I will handle my life well today and trust that tomorrow I can do the same. Yeah. It's part of loving yourself, taking care of yourself, learning to mind your own fucking business. And because the sooner you learn to mind your own business, the sooner your whole life changes for the better, And I know that's hard to hear too, that made me want to punch somebody when somebody told that to me. So I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like rub anybody the wrong way. I'm just giving you the truth that I received that really made me change my life, helped and continues to help change my life for the better. Brings me to that place of peace of mind and thinking for myself, and a relationship with not just myself, but with God, my higher power, whatever you want to call him. So keep leaning into it. I believe in you. I love you. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.